following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome into this Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. I'm Chris Yow, along with the Hall of Famer, Mo Patton. Hope you guys are having a fantastic final day of the work week. I know I am excited about getting started this weekend. Got a lot going on, including some girls flag football on Sunday, which means we should probably tell you a little bit about that. We will. As a matter of fact, got a great show lined up for you. Josh Corey of the Tennessee Titans will join us here on Main Street Sports Today, and he'll tell us all about how the Titans are involved in that. We've also got voice of the Lady Vols, Mickey Dearstone, and former Columbia State Charger. He will join us to talk about his final run in the NCAA Tournament as the voice of the Lady Vols. They get ready to take on Louisville this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. Obviously, NCAA hoops, women's NIT hoops, and some college baseball. We'll get to all of that on today's show. But before we get to anything, let's go ahead and give you the rundown.
This is the Rundown. The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in southern Middle Tennessee.
In high school baseball action, it was Florence, Alabama 6, Loretto 5, Cascade down Culleoka 12-7, Lawrence County a 10-4 winner over Giles County. It was Portland 7, Macon County 2, Spring Hill an 11-5 winner over Lewis County. Stewart's Creek down Beach 5-1. It was Eagle 15, Forest 2, Zion Christian 11-6 winner over Hampshire. It was a Murfreesboro Central 7, Community 6, and Columbia Academy 9, Richland 3. Oh. Is he connected? Okay, well, don't mute me. All right, I'll continue. Summertown 11, Laverne nothing. Rossview 8, Independence 5. It was Summit 11, Blackman 1. White House 12, Springfield 1. It was CPA Downing Brentwood Academy 8-6. Pope Prep a 7-1 winner over Dixon County. It was CAK 12, East Robertson 4. In the Wilson County Invitational, it was Stewart's Creek a winner over Beach. Davidson Academy down to Upperman 6-4. It was Gallatin 13, Mount Juliet Christian 5. Gallatin also a 6-4 winner over Friendship Christian.
In high school softball action on Thursday, it was Zion Christian 18, Christian Community 1. Also Westmoreland 15, Cannon County 1. Lawrence County 7, Lincoln County nothing. Eagleville with a 9-4 win over Moore County. Smith County defeated Green Hill 6-2. Gallatin all over Hendersonville 22-3. Mars Hill Bible out of Alabama shuts out Loretto 10-0. It's Mount Pleasant 10, Culleoka 6. Station Camp 15, Hunters Lane nothing. Mount Juliet with a 7-3 win over Columbia Central, and Summit downs Columbia Academy 5-2.
In boys soccer action, it was Smith County 4, Friendship Christian 0, Greenbrier 3, Watertown nothing. Hillsboro 6-2 winner over Nashville Christian, and Spring Hill a winner over Lawrence County. In NCAA women's basketball action, it was MTSU 55, Vanderbilt 53, no overtime needed, so that meant Mo got to stay. In college baseball, Vanderbilt down South Carolina 10-0. It was the Grizzlies in NBA action, 133-103 over the Pacers. And for the fourth game in a row, 6 goals in the Preds game. Unfortunately, not 6
they
for the
didn't
Preds.
score 'em. Yeah.
6-1 Vegas winners over Nashville.
High school baseball action today. Franklin Classical plays at Zion Christian. Northwest is at Knoxville West. Whoa. Okay.
There's a tournament of some sort. I just don't know what it's called.
Yeah, okay. East Robertson's at Cumberland County. Springfield plays at Cheatham County. Hampshire is at Cornersville. Eagleville is at Culleoka. Mount Pleasant travels to Fairview. Lawrence County plays at Giles County. That'll be at Sam Davis Park. Evangelical Christian plays at Greenbrier. Hillwood hosts West Creek. Loretto takes on visiting Florence, Alabama. Portland travels to Sycamore. Battle of the Woods, Raven at Brent. Page plays at Centennial, and Waverly
should be.
And Columbia Academy began at 12 noon. So they are either wrapping up or have wrapped up.
Lighthouse Christian's at Ezell Harding. Franklin Road Academy at Middle Tennessee Christian. The Nashville Knights taking on Dixon County, and Creekwood is playing Collierville. That's also a tournament that I'm not sure what it's called. Dyer County and Pope Prep. And then Northeast is taking on CAK. In the PBR National Select Tournament, Riverdale is down there. They'll take on IMG Academy and Bob Jones of Alabama. In the Jim Painter Classic, it's Franklin and Smyrna, Blackman, Spring Hill, Laverne, Columbia Central, Clarksville Independence, and Franklin and Summit. And then a Siegel and Clarksville also in that Jim Painter Classic, I believe.
Okay. So, in the Wilson County Invitational, Upperman takes on Watertown. It's Donaldson Christian and Stewart's Creek. Stewart's Creek will also take on Lebanon. St. Rita of Illinois faces Station Camp. Gallatin and Wilson Central will lock up, and Greenbrier faces Friendship Christian.
Saturday, Mount Pleasant is at Zion Christian. East Robertson will be in the Smoky Bear Classic, which I think is where that Northeast
and Knox West.
Knox West game is. They'll take on the Ohatchee Indians out of Alabama. Centennial will take on Oakland. Riverdale has Monteverde Academy out of Florida, and Brother Rice. Brother Rice. That sounds like a preacher from down in Alabama. They're out of Illinois. Jim Painter Classic continues. Summertown Smyrna, Nolansville Smyrna. Stewart's Creek will take on St. Rita, Illinois in the Wilson County Invitational. Gordonsville and Trousdale County. Mount Juliet Christian is also in that Wilson County Invitational. They'll take on Upperman. Greenbrier and Gallatin in that tournament. Upperman and Mount Juliet as well. Wilson Central and Station Camp in that tournament. Joe Burns and White House will play one another. In the Jim Painter Classic, it's Blackman and Columbia. Rockville and Independence, and Siegel and Summit. Also Rockville and Clarksville. In the Serve Pro Tournament, that's where that Dixon County and Collierville and all that is. It's Dyer County and Dixon County in that one. Laverne and Rossview and Siegel and Rossview will play. I think that's it for Saturday. CPA is at BGA. Hillwood is at Columbia Academy, and DeKalb County taking on DCA, while Middle Tennessee Christian and Franklin Road Academy will play.
High school softball today. Westmoreland is at Greenwood and Bowling Green. Green Hill plays at DeKalb County. Page travels to Lewisburg, taking on the Lady Tigers of Marshall County. Spring Hill goes to Tullahoma. Upperman hosts Portland. Loretto will host Collinwood. Santa Fe will host Richland. Columbia Central will host Laverne. Ravenwood hosts Harpeth Hall. Again, Waverly and Columbia Academy was a 12 noon start.
Another one? Okay.
Yeah. St. Cecilia Academy plays at Davidson Academy, and Middle Tennessee Christian is at Franklin Road Academy.
The Southern Warrior Classic, Mars Hill Bible and Blackman. Bloomington, Illinois against Summertown, as well as Florence, Alabama, and Summertown. Wilson County Invitational includes Watertown, Wilson Central, Centennial, Wilson Central. Springville takes on DCA, while DCA also takes on Pope Prep. Tomorrow, Columbia Central is taking on Zion Christian. I guess that is at Zion Christian. Then you'll have Blackman in the Southern Warrior Classic, White County, Siegel, Greenbrier. Green Hill takes on DeKalb County, DCA and Lebanon. Again, Nolansville, Summertown, Science Hill, Smyrna, all in that Warrior Classic. In the Wilson County Classic, it is Cookville, Wilson Central, and Station Camp, Wilson Central. And then we also have Springfield, who is an opponent TBA at the Wilson County Invitational. And then Independence goes to BGA in softball action. So there you go.
Okay. In high school boys soccer action today, Cookville is at Laverne. Wilson Central plays Merrill Hyde in Gallatin. Watertown is at Westmoreland. Centennial will host Independence. White House Heritage travels to Gallatin. Loretto will host Giles County. Boyd Buchanan comes to CPA. BGA will host Nashville Christian in the Smoky Mountain Cup. Page will take on Dobbins Bennett. Beach faces South Doyle, and Woodmont takes on Murfreesboro Central.
Continuing that Smoky Mountain Cup, East Robertson has Chucky Doak on Saturday, while Beach is set to play in the Smoky Mountain Cup, but they also had a game scheduled here, like in Middle Tennessee, and I'm not sure that they're going to be able to make both of those, but they are scheduled to play Pigeon Forge on Saturday. East Robertson will also take on Carter in the Smoky Mountain Cup. Not Scott Carter by himself. That poor kid.
Wow. High school basketball on Saturday. The Basketball Coaches Association of Tennessee will host its All-Star games beginning at 10 a.m. at Lebanon High School. Action takes place all day, so check that out. College baseball this weekend. 3-game series starting today. Austin Peay is at Belmont. Lipscomb is at Central Arkansas. Middle Tennessee State is at Alabama Birmingham. Number 5 Tennessee takes on top-ranked Ole Miss. And in a series that started last night, number 4 Vanderbilt is at South Carolina. They will continue that tonight and tomorrow. In Division II, Hillsdale, is at Trevecca for the next 3 games.
If Hillsboro was there, it'd be a shorter trip. In softball action, 15th ranked Tennessee's at 6th ranked Florida all weekend. Eastern Illinois at Tennessee State. That's a Saturday doubleheader and a Sunday finale. Florida Gulf Coast is at Lipscomb, also a Saturday doubleheader with a Sunday finale. Middle Tennessee State is at Marshall. They'll start today and play through Sunday. Austin Peay is at Morehead State. That's a Saturday doubleheader and Sunday finale. In Division II, all 3 days this weekend, starting today, Trevecca hosting Malone. And the 3rd-ranked Freed-Hardeman Lady Lions at Cumberland all weekend, Friday through Sunday. So go check them out.
There we go. Sweet 16 action. NCAA women out at Wichita. Tennessee faces top-seeded Louisville. That's a 3 o'clock start on ESPN2. In NBA action tomorrow night, Milwaukee travels to the FedEx Forum, taking on the Grizzlies. It's a 7 o'clock tip on Valley Sports South. And on Sunday, in NHL action, Philadelphia comes to Bridgestone Arena to take on the Preds.
No idea what time.
I
think it's also 7 o'clock on Valley Sports South. So however they
check
do that.
your local listings.
One of them is Valley Sports South, and one of them is Valley Sports Southeast. So I don't know how they do that. Anyway, that's it for the weekend rundown, which is always fun. All right, we're going to take a 30-second break here, and when we come back, Josh Corey will continue with us here on Main Street Sports Today. We'll talk some flag football, which we did not give the schedule out in the rundown, so we should do that when we come back.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back in with the nice little snare drum there. I can't hear the snare in my headphones. It's like the Eminem, the Eminem song. All right. We are talking girls flag football. It's a pilot program that will begin in Williamson County for 2022. And apparently word is spreading across the state and folks are getting excited about it. So I'm looking forward to see how this continues to grow after year number 1. But to talk about how the Tennessee Titans are involved, we have the director of youth. Is it youth and community engagement?
Let's ask him. Josh, what do you do for the Titans?
I am the director of marketing and youth and community engagement.
That's it.
There we go.
I thought that was right, but I want to make sure.
Quite a mouthful. Josh Corey with the Tennessee Titans joining us here on Main Street Sports today. As Chris said, girls flag football starts up in Williamson County this weekend at 3 sites across the county. At Nolensville at 2:00, Ravenwood will take on the host Lady Knights, followed by Battle of the Woods, Brent and Raven at 3. And in the 4:00 finale, it will be Brentwood and Nolensville. At Franklin, Centennial and Franklin will play at 2, followed by Page and Centennial at 3, and Page and Franklin at 4. And finally, out at Fairview, it will be Independence and Fairview at 2, Summit and Independence at 3, and Summit and the host Lady Yellow Jackets at 4. Josh, where will you be posted up?
I am probably going to head out to the Franklin site to go check that out. Obviously, there's 3 sites on Sunday for opening Sunday, and I can only pick one of them, so I'm probably headed out there first, and then going to kind of make my way around to others throughout the next 6 weeks.
There you go. I spoke, Josh, earlier this week to Summit coach Tay Martin and Independence coach Andre Flowers, and if they are any indication, obviously there's a lot of excitement about this season, this weekend, the whole 9 yards. I mean, I'm sure that you are getting that same type feedback as opening day approaches.
Yeah, we are extremely excited, probably just as excited as the girls are. It was great seeing all the coaches and some of the players, the captains, at the media day that Williamson County Schools hosted earlier this week on Wednesday. And, we're just really excited to get this kicked off. It's been a long time in the making. And, of course, for it to kind of start on Sunday, then play the 6-week schedule, and then culminating with the championship tournament on May 7th at Nissan Stadium. We're just pumped to get started.
There's an article on our website, mainstreetmurray.com, discussing the coming weekend and the coming season. And Tennessee has a chance to become the 6th state to sponsor high school flag football, girls high school flag football, previously sanctioning or sponsoring, and I'm not sure that there's necessarily a difference, but Alabama, Alaska, Florida, Georgia, and Nevada all have girls high school flag football. State championships are sanctioned in Nevada, Georgia, and Josh's native Florida, where you had some involvement with this as well, Josh. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was at Fletcher High School in Jacksonville, Florida, and we had a girls flag football team, as the state of Florida was bringing that first in the club sport capacity, and then after they got enough districts to sign on, took about 3 years or so, and became a sanctioned sport, and was the fastest growing sport in our athletic program. So, just a really great opportunity for females to have an entry point into the game of football. And we're excited, Mo, that's one of our goals is we want to be that 6th state to get it sanctioned here in Tennessee, where the TSSAA will obviously take over that, and they'll have a state series and tournament just like any other sport.
Scrolling through Twitter, as I am wont to do, I noticed earlier today the NAIA, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, actually has women's flag football. I mean, and I'm sure you probably knew that, Josh, but I mean, so clearly there is something for these young ladies to aspire to.
Yeah, and I mean that's one of the other carrots that's in front of us, to kind of reach out there and grab is there are opportunities for these athletes after they graduate from high school to play at the collegiate level. So whether that's at the NAIA level, actually the National Junior College Athletic Association adopted, I think, 10 pilot schools as well in their association this year. And so we will probably see that trickle its way up to NCAA Division III and Division II. So, there's going to be financial aid available for these athletes. There's going to be scholarship dollars available. And, it's just the opportunities are great once they get to the post-secondary point in their athletic and academic careers.
Obviously, this is opening weekend. There hasn't been a game played yet. But, Josh, across the state, are you guys getting interest from other areas as far as what would we have to do to try to get this cranked up in our area? Are you seeing that yet?
Yeah, so we're in conversations with other school districts, and obviously there's some interest here from some other districts in Middle Tennessee. Obviously there is, there's a distance factor of, what it costs to travel and play, some of these schools in competition. We're talking with Metro Nashville schools about the possibility of adding a program there in 23, and then really trying to sit down and figure out, okay, what's our plan for some of these districts that are a little bit more rural, that may only have one or two schools in their system. How do we kind of bring those rural schools together to be part of this as well? So the response has been phenomenal. I mean, just in Williamson County alone, looking at the rosters of those schools in Williamson County, I think the coach from Brentwood High School said they had 96 girls out for their team. And so the response from the schools and the athletes has really exceeded our expectations.
I know Andre Flowers at Independence said that they had about 60 kids try out, and, they actually had to cut kids, which is a double-edged sword, I guess. I mean, you hate to cut kids, but you also have to keep it manageable, especially in this situation where there's so much coaching and teaching going on.
Yeah, I mean, it is a double-edged sword. You're exactly right. Hopefully the vision is to build that to where you don't have to turn any of these athletes away. You add the sub-varsity programs in for JV and maybe even a freshman team. There's several schools in Florida that have 3 of those teams. And, obviously after getting it sanctioned, that's the goal. I mean, this is great for gender equity. This is great for Title IX to add this sports. And what we've kind of seen is that it's really adding, it's not taking females away from other sports that they're already playing, but it's actually breeding a new participation of girls that may not be participating in athletics.
Certainly going to be a lot of fun. Again, it starts on Sunday. Josh Corey here with us, who is the Director of Marketing and of Youth and Community Engagement for the Tennessee Titans. Josh, it's always a great time when we can get the Tennessee Titans involved in youth athletics and with high school athletics, and we appreciate everything that you guys do up there, really building this fan base, especially with all of the, like I said, the transplants who come in rooting for other teams. They need to know that, hey, you're in Tennessee now. Your team is the Titans, dadgummit. So we appreciate you helping build that.
Yeah, no, we really have a sense of purpose in building community and supporting not only youth sports, but our community as a whole, where we can help out, give back to the community that supports our team throughout the year. And so this is something that we're excited about. It's something that's very important to us, and we're ready to get it going.
Should be a lot of fun. Josh, thanks for taking some time with us today, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for promoting this. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Mo will be out at Fairview. So in case you're, curious as to what girls flag football actually looks like in practice, you can check it out.
Don't ask me any questions, though.
Yeah, he's going to be
learning too.
Just we all learning together today.
That's it. Yeah, so we can watch and learn. Hey, I might be asking you something. So.
You never know. Mo went to the Middle Tennessee State Vanderbilt women's NIT game last night. We'll get a firsthand report from his courtside seat right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
I never know what's going to happen. The printer just starts spitting out paper, and I'm like, man, what's going on?
I'm printing. It's doing what it's designed to do.
Whether from here or Franklin, apparently.
We actually got the right computer hooked up with the right printer this time.
Gotta love
Technology
technology.
is a beautiful thing when it works.
Gotta love technology when it works.
There you go.
Mo, you were in Murfreesboro last night for that Middle Tennessee State women NIT game against Vanderbilt. And after the first quarter, I'm sure the folks, the Blue Raider faithful, were a little worried.
And after the second quarter. And after the third quarter. Yeah.
Well, the third quarter was
they started to
I think there was
figure some things out in the second half.
Yeah.
And
outscored them 22-12, I think, in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Just found some things that worked. One of those was Courtney Whitson. Knocked down a couple of threes. I think they were like 0 for 10 from 3 in the first half, and finally managed to knock down some threes and open some stuff up inside. And also, I think Cambridge, the really good guard for Vanderbilt, was not quite as active defensively, or Middle just did a better job taking care of the ball on offense in the second half. She is disruptive, and you could see, I mean, I don't know what the score was the first time they played, but I know Middle won it. But this Vanderbilt team, as we've discussed here over the last few weeks, has gotten a lot better here in the second half of the season and in the postseason, and they played really well last night.
Much different, team than what Middle played to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to be impressed with, the Lady Raiders' resolve to stick it out, keep going, and
but at
make
the same,
some adjustments.
But again, you also got to be really impressed with the job that Shea Ralph has done with that Vanderbilt team in a short period of time. And they are going to continue to come on, obviously. But yeah, big win for Middle. I mean, to come from behind like that against a Southeastern Conference program where they had trailed for, again, 3 quarters and some change. And, I got a chance to talk to Rick Insel a little bit after the game and thank him for the tickets. But, they made some personnel decisions in the second half and got some folks on the floor that were more ready to answer Vanderbilt's physicality.
Gotcha.
And made a big difference down the stretch for them.
Certainly a big win for the Lady Raiders, and they will move on. We talked about Alabama and Houston. Alabama with a big win last night, by the way, over the Cougs. So
I think if there was a team that had to lose from Houston last night, I think Houston fans are okay with that one.
Yeah, no question. 79-64, the final score there. Alabama moves on to take on South Dakota State. Middle Tennessee State will play Toledo in Toledo.
In Toledo. Holy Toledo. Yeah.
Got to go up to the home of the Bullfrogs. Toledo Bullfrogs. That's their minor league baseball team.
Oh, wow. Did not know that. No, they are the Rockets.
No, yes.
Yeah.
The basketball team is the Rockets.
Where is that Alabama Jackrabbits game?
Brookings, South Dakota.
They've got to go up there.
So South Dakota is the 1 seed, I believe, in that bracket.
Okay.
So, and then Oregon State.
I thought Middle was the 2 in theirs. Are they not?
Middle is the 2.
Toledo's the 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Toledo is, well, no, they're not the 1. I don't know how. They look to be in the area of a 5 or 6 seed. So I'm curious. I'm not sure.
I wonder if there's a, you can only host so many games or something like that, because Middle played. That was the 3rd home game Middle has played in the WNIT. So.
But the winners will advance to the finals
and
Final Four.
Is the Final Four at a central site? Because I looked at a bracket last night and I couldn't tell that. I might not have been looking at the right bracket though.
That's a really good question. It does not. It says it gives me the dates for the semifinals, but it doesn't tell me where the semifinals we can. And so it is. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I guess it's got to be on. I can't imagine that it's going to be at different sites, but
I don't know.
I guess it is. Anyway, we don't know the answer to that. And if you do know, you can always shoot us a message or a comment.
All games are at home sites, I'm told.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All games are at home sites. Appreciate the information. That being said, Columbia Seton Hall will play in New York. Corvallis, Oregon will be obviously Oregon State and UCLA. Those are the 4 games that will determine who makes those semifinals.
Oregon State and UCLA?
Oregon State and
so an all Pac-12 matchup there, huh?
You got it.
Okay.
So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting, because Middle and Alabama could not match up until the championship, which I think would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Because one, fans could travel. If it ends up being in Brookings, South Dakota,
yeah,
it may not be as easy to get to.
And if it ends up being in Tuscaloosa, it might be a little travel down I-65.
No doubt.
Little side trip to.
Well, it depends on if you want to go down 65 or take 43 through. There's a lot of ways to get to Tuscaloosa from this area.
I'm not familiar.
It's a lot of fun, except on Saturdays when every volunteer fire department and their mother is at every 4-way stop asking for money.
Oh, really? Wow. Well, they know the traffic's coming through too.
It's
right?
all coming through.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man, let's take a break and go to halftime here. Middle with a big win, 55-53. Didn't go to overtime, so that meant Mo didn't have to leave.
I've seen enough of those.
He's seen enough overtime losses for a season. It's halftime when we come back, so y'all stick around here on Main Street Sports Today. We'll be back after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. So, Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum co-starred in the new action-adventure movie, The Lost City. And I've not seen it. But Channing Tatum, an Alabama native, by the way, out of Coleman.
Really?
True story.
Coleman?
Yeah. Go figure, right?
Seems awfully enlightened.
So, well, my college roommate and Channing were friends in elementary school. Go figure. And now both in LA. Channing doing a little bit better in his acting career, but Jake holding his own, okay? Anyway, so apparently their daughters are in the same preschool together. So Channing goes on the Late Late Show with James Corden and says, look, we have 2 very, very strong-willed little girls, and they very much like button heads.
Figuratively or literally?
Figurative.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, literally. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Apparently, there was an altercation in which Bullock got a call from the school and wondered whether she would have to contact Channing or, his ex-wife and try to figure something out. This is how the preschool figured it out. And I'm thinking with the situation that we're having right now, this may be a need in the future. Instead of punishing the 2 girls, they have challenged them on a competition of who can be the nicest to one another.
Appealing to their competitive nature, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
So they're bringing each other like little Dixie cups of water, and so if your child is out there having some issues with another child in preschool, sit them down, put the competition up, and say, listen, whoever's the nicest wins. So sounds like a good plan to me. What do you think?
Can't hurt.
Try anything, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, let's take a break because March Madness is mad, crazy. What a great night last night it was. Except, well, I guess we got half of it right. So there's that. Come back with us. We'll talk about some NCAA hoops, and we've got Mickey Dearstone in the second half, as well as some SEC baseball and other news. So stick around. We'll be back after this.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back into this, the second half of Main Street Sports Today. I'm Chris Yao along with Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls with us today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. Again, we will be back each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, 2 o'clock on all of these social media outlets across Main Street as we have figured it out. So check us out on if you like a Main Street Media Facebook page, you can find us there now. Yay! That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I needed a clap, not a laugh. And YouTube, Twitter. Find us on Twitter, ms_sports today. It's always fun. Last night, or yesterday, I guess on the show, we picked the Sweet 16 and went back through the brackets, and both of us said, watch out, Gonzaga taking the Hogs. And
you actually took the next step, though.
Well, I did say Arkansas would win. Here's what I want to know. Did anybody see the post-game interview? Have you seen it on?
No.
Musselman is only about 3 inches taller than Tracy Wolfson. And if you know how tall Tracy Wolfson is, like, him being 3 inches taller is not that's wild. I was like, wait a minute. Is he really 5'6"? Like, she might be 5 foot tall. Maybe. She is tiny in heels.
Did you see the picture I posted last night?
No, I did not.
Go back and look at my Facebook from last night.
The one of you and Jody and Rick. Well, I understand, but still, Musselman is literally this tall, and yet he has one of the 2 straight Elite Eight appearances.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
I mean, it's not height related, but the fact that Arkansas has back-to-back Elite Eights.
And Tennessee has one in their history. That's wild.
And what was Arkansas? They were the 4 seed?
The 4 seed in the tournament and the 4th seed in the tournament.
Yeah.
Both tournaments.
Well, and I would say hot at the right time, but I mean, they lost to A&M in the
semis. Yeah. It's just crazy. What this team has been able to do. They go out west, and here's the cool thing. Apparently, Musselman his family had not been able to come see him coach while he had been in Arkansas. Since he's been in Arkansas, his whole family was there last night.
Oh wow!
So really cool moment for him to get that win. He was elated, man, just absolutely jacked up, and I was proud for them. I mean, like I said, I knew that defense would be really good, and it was defense in the end that won the ball game for them. So
friend of mine showed a screenshot from a blown out of bounds call. Arkansas kid had half of his foot on the wrong side of the baseline, and the Hogs retained possession and scored on it, I think, to make it like a 8-point game. Maybe hit a 3, stretch a 5-point game to 8, I think. So, yeah.
That seems to be part of the course for Arkansas.
Well, sometimes you have to be lucky. Takes a little.
It absolutely takes some luck to win in this tournament. I mean, that's just the facts. And, Michigan didn't have any last night. Everything that they threw up inside the paint just looked like it was thrown with 100 pounds of weight attached to the basketball. Could not get it to go in. And,
Villanova's pretty good.
Villanova's a really good basketball team. You're not going to just beat them off of, just athleticism or anything. You're going to have to really play good fundamental basketball. And I mean, the Wildcats are really good, man.
But I mean, that's an 11 seed Michigan team that a lot of folks felt like, for various reasons, shouldn't have necessarily been in the field. So the fact that they were playing for an Elite 8 spot, kudos to Juwan Howard. And I know that a lot of folks are not in a kudo giving spirit toward Juwan Howard for various reasons, but we got an email yesterday from
our fearless leader,
our publisher / owner, Dave Gould. Apparently Juwan was on Dan Patrick earlier this week. And
can you confirm, JP? Because I know you watch Dan religiously. So,
and Dan Patrick asked Coach Howard, "What did you do when you were suspended?" And he said, "Well, for me, I did a lot of reflecting on how I can improve as a person, as a player. Excuse me, not as a player, as a coach. sometimes you still think of yourself as a player because you played in so many high pressure games, competitive games, and pressure moments. With that, I did some counseling and will continue to keep going through counseling once the season is over on how I can help grow this team and how I can be a better leader. I think during that time I learned a lot, grew, and I've gotten stronger while doing it during that 5-game absence. Obviously, a reference to his 5-game suspension following the incident at the end of the Wisconsin game a few weeks ago, for which there was little to no accountability for the Wisconsin coaching staff.
Look, I'm glad that he took the time. I still don't think he should have been suspended. I hope it, makes him a better coach and a better.
If he can improve from it, then if he can take something positive from it, that's fantastic. And I think that's the right attitude to take out of it. I just and isolating the act, I don't know that he necessarily should not have been suspended. I just feel like he wasn't the only one that should have had some accountability in the situation. That's all.
Come on.
And that's all I ever meant. And so if anybody thinks I didn't agree with his suspension, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I just don't think he was the only one that deserves suspending.
If anyone was going to get suspended.
Right.
Either
everybody or nobody.
One of the two.
There we go.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. We do need to mention
they did get the win, or they did get knocked out of the tournament by Villanova,
who will play
now. Didn't see this one coming.
I kind of did, because one of the few bright spots in my bracket was Houston to the Elite Eight. Now I had them losing to Tennessee in the Elite Eight, but I had them beating Arizona.
And I said yesterday on the show that the one thing about Houston that Houston, Michigan would have been a very interesting game because of the similarities in their two teams. I would have loved it because it would have really felt like one of those early 80s NC State Houston type matchups. But you hear all the time, you got to have great guard play. You got to have great guard play. Well, being pretty good on the boards, clearly a positive.
I just think Houston plays with an edge that not a lot of people play with. And I don't know how right I am. I'm not a huge basketball expert. I'm not a basketball expert at all. But watching Houston play, they just seem to have something about them.
The best thing about them is they provide everybody on their team with an opportunity to contribute. And again, you got to have great guard play, but when you've got guys, down low, that's where you have to take advantage of those mismatches, which is exactly how Tennessee beat Arkansas with John Fulkerson. Putting Fulkerson on the post was what eventually got Tennessee the win in that game. So, that's kind of where you kind of look and you go, okay, great job. And then of course, Duke looks like they're just having fun, and it's easy to do, I guess, when you're winning.
It's easy to do when you're winning. And I just think they're trying to send Coach K out the right way. And I think that's going to make them dangerous. I'm just hoping Arkansas can channel a little Nolan Richardson in this one. Meanwhile, tonight, what have you got? You've got Kansas and Providence. You've got Miami and Iowa State. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you've got North Carolina and UCLA, and you've got Purdue and St. Peter's.
This is not a joke. This is not a lie. Today.
Is it Peacock Day or something?
Is National Peacock Day. I would hate to be a Boilermaker today, folks.
Goodness gracious.
St. Peter's to the moon. When we come back, Mickey Dearstone, voice of the Lady Vols, joins us here on Main Street Sports Today. Y'all stick with us. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back in to this Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. Chris Yao alongside Mo Patton, JP Plant on the controls as we continue getting you ready for the weekend ahead with plenty of local flavor in the sports department. Of course, we've got high school baseball, high school softball, high school boys soccer, all taking place. Girls, flag football.
There's probably some track and field
somewhere
going on as well,
and
maybe some tennis.
On top of that, college baseball in the area is alive and well, plenty to go see. And then, of course, like I said earlier, the third-ranked Freed Hardeman Lady Lions will be in Lebanon at Cumberland this weekend. So if you're looking for some college softball there, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better local matchup than Freed and Cumberland. But also on Saturday, 3:00 Central tip, you can find the Louisville Cardinals and the Tennessee Lady Vols. And if you aren't able to catch it on ESPN2, you can always hear the golden tones of Mickey Dearstone, which you can also hear right now as he joins us here on Main Street Sports Today. Mickey, thanks for taking some time with us, and appreciate you joining us.
No problem. You want to hear a little piece of irony?
We'd love to hear some irony.
After you called me and JP put me on hold, the first thing I heard was a commercial for Jones & Lang Sporting Goods. And Rodney Jones, whose father, Van Jones, started Jones & Lang. Rodney Jones was my roommate in college at Columbia State my sophomore year down there, and still talk to him on a regular basis.
Wow.
That's a great segue, Mo.
That is a great segue, Mickey. You just kind of set me up because you are an East Tennessee native, correct?
Yeah.
Where specifically?
I was born in Greenville, but I went middle school and high school in Jefferson City, Tennessee.
Okay. Greenville, Greene County, Jefferson County.
Yeah.
How does a Jeff County high school graduate wind up going to Columbia State Community College?
Well, it's funny you asked that. Jefferson City only has a paper that comes out once a week, so there wasn't a lot of publicity in high school baseball. And at Jefferson High School, when I played there, all 4 years, I had a different coach each year. And so baseball was just something I loved to play, and I played it anyway. But to make a quick story, I was playing Connie Mack baseball, and we played post-19, coached by Larry Schmitto out of Nashville in the state tournament. And I had a really good state tournament, and they won it because Schmitto always had a stacked team in Nashville anyway. And he asked me to go with them to the regional tournament. And so I went to the region with him, and he asked me if I wanted to play college ball at Vanderbilt. And I said, yes. Well, later on that summer, he called and he said, look, he said, we'd love to have you if you want to come down here. But he said, I've got a catcher that's a junior, and he's going to be my catcher. He said, have you ever thought about going to junior college? And I said, I just want to go to school someplace and play baseball. He said, well, I know a guy. Let me make a phone call, and then you could play there a couple years and then come for the last 2 years to Vanderbilt. So about 30 minutes later, I got a phone call from Dave Hall, offered me a scholarship just on the word of Larry Schmittou, and ended up down at Columbia State in 72 and 73. Played on some really good baseball teams and went to the JUCO World Series both years. So that's how I ended up there.
The namesake of the field, Mo.
There we go. Mickey, would John Shelby have been on those teams, or would he have been after you?
He was after me.
Okay.
I played with the Davidson brothers, Rick and Randy Davidson. Charlie Rogers was our ace pitcher. Steve Downey was on that team. We had 3 guys from also from Knoxville. 2 of them played the outfield. Barry Richardson was a pitcher. We had a really, really good baseball team, and it was kind of like the adult version of Bad News Bears. I mean, it really was. We had guys Charlie Rogers was their ace, and he was 24 years old and a pitcher, freshman in junior college, because he had been in the service, got married and had a kid, and they saw him pitch in an adult summer baseball league. And it was just full of players, like that you wouldn't think would be on the same team in junior college in Columbia. But I've got some stories from those 2 years, but I can't tell them on the radio.
All that was missing was the Chico bail bonds on the back, huh, Mickey?
Well, we never had to call a bail bondsman. Thank goodness. It was a small enough town. We had a couple of businessmen there that kind of kept an eye out for us. They kind of took care of us a little bit. But I mean, it was the best 2 years of my life.
That's fantastic. When I had heard Mickey Dearstone in Columbia State a couple here in the last year or so, I'm like, I never knew that. And I was just curious about it. And thank you for satisfying my curiosity. Now on with the show. Mickey Dearstone, the voice of the Lady Vols, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. And obviously you got a big assignment, and the ladies have a big assignment tomorrow out in Wichita as Tennessee takes on top seed Louisville.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. Louisville's a tough matchup for everybody because of the way they play defense. And it's a tough matchup for Tennessee because, well, until the last game when they only had 9 of them, they've been turnover prone. And, Tennessee's going to have to take care of the basketball against Louisville's press, or it's going to be over before halftime. But they know that. They know that. It's something that they've been working on. But I think it'll be interesting to see how this Tennessee team plays with them being the underdog. The so-called experts that, predict the winners and brackets and all that stuff on all of social media and ESPN and wherever, they don't give Tennessee much of a chance to beat Louisville. But if we can take care of the basketball, I think we match up really good against Louisville because we've got inside game, outside game. And I think that we play good enough defense that we can hold them down to, 60, 70 points. So we've got a chance, but it's going to be a tough matchup, and they know they're going to have to take care of the basketball.
Mickey, do you have an X factor from two points with Brooklyn Miles? One, she kind of strikes you as a one-person press breaker. 2, She's from Frankfurt. And is she a little extra geeked up for this one, do you think?
Well, I think so. The one thing Brooklyn Miles has to do is she's only a freshman. And against presses, teams that we've played that have pressed us in the past, she has a tendency to dribble just into the front court area and then pick up her dribble and get double teamed. So I know, she's aware of that, coaching staff, and they've watched a lot of film and stuff like that. And she can handle the basketball. She's a really good passer. And a lot of times when she commits a turnover, it's because she picks up her dribble too soon. And if you got a team that's pressing full court, you got to make that pass before you cross the half court line instead of after. So that's, but I'll tell you what, when she's got the basketball, you can't blink or you're going to miss, about 15 feet because she's so fast with the basketball. She can break the press by herself if she keeps it in the middle of the floor.
How much of a help is it to her having, obviously former Tennessee point guard Kelly Harper as her head coach? I mean, that's got to be something that's going to benefit her and this team for a long time.
Oh yeah, I think Brooklyn Miles, when she got playing time early in the season, it was for defense because she's a great defender, and she gets after it. And I've seen her grow offensively, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And it's because Kelly has brought her on slowly and gradually coached her up as what it takes to be a point guard in Division I women's basketball. And so I think she's improved immensely from the beginning of the year to now. And, with injuries to like Jordan Horston and her playing time has gone up. And I think Kelly has asked more of her, and I think she's responded with that.
That's the thing about Kelly Harper is when you watch her coach and her coaching style, she is a very nurturing and very caring coach. She doesn't yell a whole lot unless it's at the officials, I guess. She does that pretty good. But I think sometimes we talk about it on this show all the time, Mo. You coach kids the way that they have to be coached, and she has found a way to understand where every kid's coming from. And Kelly Harper has been a godsend to this program in the last couple of years. Would you agree with that?
Yes. And I think I think she's a perfect example, to be honest with you, of how if Pat Summitt was still coaching, she would have to coach the same way. And I've told people this. I mean, I had the luxury of working with Pat for 20 years almost. And the way she coached back then, when everything was stern, the stare and things like that, I don't think that would work with college freshmen nowadays coming out of high school. I think coaches have to adapt. And I think, when you look at Kelly coach on the sidelines, especially when she gets on the officials, you see the pack come out in her. And she admits you can't play 4 years for Pat Summitt and then follow the rest of her coaching career without having a little bit of Pat Summitt in you. But I think she's evolved after, coaching at 3 other places before coming to Tennessee. I think she's a different coach now than she was when she was at Western Carolina or North Carolina State or Missouri State. And I think she's evolved into a coach that can coach kids nowadays coming out of high school, because they're a lot different now than they were back in the 90s, I can promise you.
Speaking with the voice of the Lady Vols, Mickey Dearstone, here on Main Street Sports Today, as Tennessee gets ready to make its first Sweet 16 appearance in 7 years, which for a lot of Lady Vols followers would at once feel unheard of, and you feel every day of it probably. Mickey, what is the mood around this program over that fact, getting back to this level?
They're ready. I think that, they can put that behind them now. People can't say it's the first time after this year because they've gotten back, and then the clock starts all over again. But it's all about how you perform when you get here, you know. And I keep going back to the 90s and the early 2000s. You know, back then the women's basketball tournament, the Sweet 16, when the bracket was announced each year, you could go through the bracket and pretty much pick at least 14 of the 16 teams that were going to be in the Sweet 16. And Tennessee was always one of those. But now, I mean, when I looked at this year's bracket, there's no way. I mean, you had probably 30 teams that could have been in the Sweet 16. And I'm talking about a lot of teams that got put out, like a Kentucky or somebody like that. And so it's a lot different. It's tougher to get there now than it was back early on, I can promise you.
It almost felt like the Sweet 16 was when the tournament really started back then, Mickey. You're right.
Exactly. The first and second round games were just a formality.
You made an announcement a few weeks ago. When this year's Lady Vols are done, you're done. What's that been like for you personally? What brought you to that decision? And, you know, what have these last few weeks been like?
I'll say this. The first time I started thinking about turning it over to somebody else was when they fired Holly. And I thought it would just be, you know, maybe whoever they hired as coach wanted to bring, you know, their radio guy with them, or would want to have a say-so on who did radio for them, and somebody that they had trust in, that they could get along with, and things like that. And then they hired Kelly, and I was doing games when Kelly was a player. And I said, no, that if Kelly, you know, if she wants me to, I'll stay for 2 or 3 years, a few years, so that she can get her feet set. And that's one less thing she'd have to worry about. Well, this was Kelly's 3rd year. Last year was a COVID year. Didn't make any road trips. We did them all in the studio back on campus at UT by satellite feed. And it was just, I mean, it was something different I'd never done before. It was extremely difficult to get in the game when you weren't there in the atmosphere, especially in the NCAA tournament when everybody was in San Antonio, Texas, and I was in Knoxville, Tennessee on campus. So this summer, I told Steve Early and Glenn Thaxton, Vol Network, that I was thinking about stepping down. And they said, well, don't make up your mind yet. Think about it. Just do us a favor and think about it. And I said, I'll let you know before the season starts. And then, guys, October 8th, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and surgery was set for January, and I knew I'd have to miss some games in January. The year before, I'd missed 2 games when I had COVID over Thanksgiving. And, you know, I'm the type of guy that until last year, because of COVID, I had never missed a game. And all those games, I'd never missed one. And then all of a sudden, I missed 2 last year. I missed 3 this year. And I just, you know, it just kind of sealed the deal for me that I don't want somebody to have to do my job for me. And if I can't do them all, then at my age, I'm 68, you know, it would just be a smart thing to do to turn it over to somebody that can do them all. Because I think one thing that's made the Lady Vol Network so successful across the state is not only national championships and winning, but having good or bad, the same voice on the broadcast every time they turn on the radio. And, you know, I just don't like missing. And at my age, who knows what's going to pop up next? And so I just thought it was a good time to do that.
Well, we're certainly going to miss hearing you on the broadcast. I mean, almost every time I've ever heard a Lady Vols game, it's been your voice. So I can't recall anyone else ever doing it, Mickey. And it's been a pleasure to have you on our show with us, and looking forward to hearing you tomorrow on the Sweet 16 call against those Louisville Cardinals.
And hopefully a few more.
Hopefully maybe 4 more.
And I hope so. I'm going to miss it. I mean, there's no doubt. I'm going to miss it about as much as I miss Oldham's restaurant that was downtown when I was going to school in Columbia.
That one's gone.
Yeah, I know it is, but that's where I ate every meal.
Oh,
at
wow.
Oldham's restaurant, except on Sunday because they were closed.
They were closed.
Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mickey Dearstone, former Columbia State baseball player and the voice of the Lady Vols, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. He's going to be busy around 3 tomorrow as the Lady Vols take on Louisville in the Sweet 16. Mickey, we appreciate your time, and good luck tomorrow.
All right, guys, anytime. I appreciate the phone call.
All right, when we come back, we will talk a little baseball. And what's David Cutcliffe up to? Well, he's got a new job.
New gig.
We'll tell you what it is on the other side on Main Street Sports Today. Y'all stick around. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl in Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in. It's Main Street Sports Day on the final segment of this Friday edition as we get ready for the weekend full of sports, and there's a lot of it going on, including plenty of SEC baseball. Vanderbilt continues their series at South Carolina after a 10-0 win last night. They will take on the Gamecocks today and tomorrow, I assume. Maybe. Yeah. I didn't even look to see the rest of the schedule, but Tennessee is on the road in Oxford, taking on the top-ranked Rebels.
Top 5 matchup
of Ole Miss.
Yeah, UT rolled into the Grove, ranked number 5 by whatever rankings the Southeastern Conference uses. I'm not sure who they use, but you've got 7 of the 14 teams are ranked
D1.
in D1.
They use D1 baseball.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So these are G1 rankings. All right.
Which is probably the most accurate, if we're being honest. I mean, those guys live, sleep, eat, and breathe D1 baseball.
You got Kendall Rogers over there. So, yeah, that's fair. The only other top 25 matchup in the conference this week is number 21 LSU is at number 8 Florida. But number 17 Georgia's at Kentucky. Again, 4th-ranked Vanderbilt started their series at South Carolina last night. Number 3 Arkansas is at Missouri. In 2 series involving unranked opponents, Alabama's at Mississippi State and Auburn's at Texas A&M. So,
last night, Vanderbilt's 10-0 win. Local product Chris McIlvain was 7 shutout for the Commodores, and every time Chad Kirby hears that, he cuts himself a little bit deeper with that knife as thinking back to that state tournament and lost to Farragut. But neither here nor there.
I'm just going to let you.
God, I know he kicks himself, and I don't mean to pile on. It's rough, but
You
Chris,
just pile on.
But Chris McIlvain has been phenomenal for this Vanderbilt team in the last couple of years. His 4th win of the year last night, and he just continues to get better. Now, I did find out it is today and tomorrow, so they'll take Sunday off, and then they will return Tuesday to First Horizon Park to take on Lipscomb. So
5 strikeouts, 2 walks, 7 hits allowed in those 7 shutout innings. Nelson Berkwich and Danye Evans finish off the last 2 innings with 2 strikeouts each. So they just went over there and fairly dominated.
Yeah, they did.
South Carolina, which traditionally is one of the better teams in the conference, but they have yet to win in conference play, and they are now 10-11 overall.
They've also played Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
That's right. They got swept by Tennessee last week. So okay.
It's not like they're out here getting.
So they're like, who made this schedule?
SEC hates us.
Yeah, well, I mean, Vandy's ranked number 4 in D1. Tennessee's ranked number 5 in D1, and that's who we start the year against?
That's brutal.
Jeez, why can't we mix in a Missouri or somebody?
They came in 10-5 on the year, and
goodness gracious! Thank goodness for the midweek, right?
Right, yeah. Austin P is at Belmont this weekend. They'll start their series today. Lipscomb's in Central Arkansas. You won't be able to see that one unless you're really interested in going to Central Arkansas for whatever reason. Middle Tennessee State at UAB. I did find out that game is on campus at UAB, so it will not be at Regions Park. UAB coming off a win over Alabama in the midweek game, so they are riding high.
So UAB beat Alabama. Middle took 2 of 3 at Auburn.
At Auburn, yeah,
a couple of weekends ago. So
CUSA.
Yeah,
I don't know how to. It's kind of hard to chant. You can't do SEC.
It's not. It doesn't. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
It really doesn't.
No,
but that's okay. And then of course, Trevecca's at home over the weekend as well. So a lot of great baseball in the area. If you want to watch it, Belmont again and Trevecca both at home, and short trip to Birmingham if you're looking for some new food options. They got plenty of them down there, I can tell you. And apparently the number 34 party school in the country. I don't know where they're partying on the south side of Birmingham, but go figure.
5 points.
Okay, but at the cookie place was Insomnia Cookies or
there's plenty of places
isn't UAB a big nursing school?
Yeah, but
are they the same kids?
Oh, absolutely. Have you met a nursing student ever?
I've not met a nursing student, but I have met a few nurses. And
I'm just yeah. Right after that shift, they
work hard,
know what they're
play hard.
Ain't no doubt if you know anything about nurses, you know. If you know,
hashtag
you know.
IYKYK, right?
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can party on the south side, but like at the clubs, but like it's not on campus. It's not like you're raging at at Kirkland Hall or something. Like that's what I'm so confused about. And number 29 on the list, Liberty.
Oh, goodness.
Come on now. Exactly. JP's face was like, huh? Wait a minute. Huh?
It's the Hugh Freeze effect.
I guess Hugh Freeze accounts for enough to be the number 29.
Does Liberty know about this ranking?
That's a good question.
Nobody's told Falwell yet.
No.
I've been to Lynchburg.
Well, Falwell's not there anymore, but yeah.
I've been to Lynchburg.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, where are you going?
I have no idea.
You don't. It's you're partying on campus because there's no other place to party.
Yeah, behind like doors in the dorms.
KA, baby.
And I feel like it's a dry town.
I'm sure it is.
If it's anything like Lynchburg.
I don't think Liberty would be there if it weren't.
Yeah, so you got to go somewhere and get it and bring it back to the dorm.
It's a whole
brown bag, maybe.
I mean, I guess that's it. Alabama tops that list, by the way, which not surprisingly, it's back when Tennessee
tops the partying school.
Yeah.
Alabama?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, not surprised. It was the whole country. Which
Whole
report is
country.
this?
The whole country.
Well,
The whole country.
I will tell
Love
you,
it.
it is. If there's any entity in the world who would be qualified to rank party schools, it's Barstool Sports.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yes, Barstool ranks Alabama atop that list, and so there you go.
You win a few natties, that'll push you.
That's the thing. So back in the 90s, Tennessee was atop that list almost all the time. So anyway,
There you go. We'll hold that.
we will. We'll talk about David Cutcliffe next week.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got nothing else to do. We might as well just try to get him on the show.
He's not going anywhere.
Might as well just holler at him and see if he wants to come on and tell us about his new gig. I mean, Mo's like, I got his number right here. It's just whatever.
I have a number.
Rolodex.
I'm not sure if it's still
Is it
the number.
Is it a North Carolina number? Because if it is, it's probably not right.
One day we're going to have to play a game, the Molodex.
The Molodex, I love it. That's so good. Oh man,
It is a North Carolina number.
Spin the
probably
Molodex.
not gonna be right. You might want to just call the SEC office.
I don't know. You don't have to change your numbers anymore.
True that.
I had my 704 Charlotte number for years.
Yeah, but did they pay for their phone?
No, that's true.
I think he could probably afford to take that bill on
Yeah.
by the time he left.
No question.
Just let me keep the number, dude. Come on.
Oh man,
You don't need it. Coach K's got his own. Come on.
Oh, what a great show. If you missed any part of the show, go back and listen to the podcast. Josh Corey was fantastic, and Mickey Dearstone, of course, talked plenty of basketball on this show. So if you missed any part of it, podcast is available for you. It is archived each and every day. So go check that out. Again, follow us on Twitter, ms_sports today. Find us on Facebook, Main Street Sports Today. Just like our page, and you will get a notification every time we go live at 2 o'clock each and every weekday. So it should be fun. Monday, 2 o'clock. Come hang out with us. For Mo and JP, have a great weekend. And Mo,
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend